also. So we can definitely offer ATT Connect, but I think some people may if no one need to present anything, they can just log in on the web page. So why don't I send okay, I'm going to send my ATT Connect information through the VOLTHA Discuss. So if this bridge drop, then I'll open the ATT Connect. Okay. How's that?
That sounds good. All right. Well,
and for people, just use the web page portal on ATT Connect. I think that'll be fine. So Julie,
okay.
So why don't we continue?
Yeah. All right. So do you want me to bring up the draft agenda then?
Sure.
It sounded like you wanted to go over the agenda, or was there did you want to share something else?
Yeah. So yeah, you can give me the presentation, right? But at the same time, I'll send the email out to ATT Connect.
Okay. Sean, I've just made you presenter, so when you have your screen ready, you can feel free. And I am trying again to record this in case it does not drop.
Okay, so I send it out. So I think Kim and Sean, you guys did a presentation regarding to the server template and then externalize the device specific configuration and management information outside the VOLTHA core.
So for now, I think maybe just get we can work on the closer email discussion that there was a little bit, and getting those things just those issues, kind of the thoughts in our head, and then we can probably get to them a little bit deeper. And Sean is out right now, so he can't contribute for that. So it might be better if we had just a little bit more time with that to discuss it a little bit more before we bring it up to the next round to the wider community, I think.
Okay. So I sent out this lockdown proposed agenda for the April 10th to 12th. Even though it's 3 days, but it's actually the 2 full days. So I think the first half day on the 10th. So location, it will be in Dallas, AT&T headquarters. So we will start at. I think the first day's agenda is basically what we have done in 1.3 need to be continued to work on the 2.0. So I do believe the thanks to CHIP, the open OMCI framework has been established in some degree in 1.3, but I think there's some additional work we need to continue. So what's next on the open OMCI? The VOLTHA high availability and the fast failover. I think Sienna, the Sergio from Sienna, did a very good presentation last time. So we want to double check the status, and especially on the database redundancy frameworks part. Can the XCD has been implemented right now in 1.3, or is your team still thinking to be implemented in 2.0 timeframe?
It's in 1.3. Actually, in 1.3, we support both etcd and Docker, but our preference is etcd. So etcd is there.
Okay. So I think I included this, but we would like to have some update and then some additional features will be implemented 2.0. And one thing is the security. I think that we brought this up last May, but it's sort of on hold right now. So I believe so what AT&T we're going to do is we're going to reissue some of the user story by the lockdown. I think the least privilege support, right? That for any field trial or the even small scale or larger scale, the least privilege support that must be implemented. So right now, as we all know, everybody knows VOLTHA is a username, password, all that kind of stuff. So that's not, for field trial deployment, that's not acceptable. I on the day 2, so the issues right now, even though I have what I'm thinking is, even if with device specific model and templates to be implemented, we still need the existing VOLTHA system still need to be able to support various different trials. So I do believe the XPON config has not been fully completed yet. So I'm recommending to get the XPON config complete, so we can at least have a version of the VOLTHA we can use for going forward before the additional framework implementation has been in place. So this is the area I would like to bring up to the table and see whether the community support that idea, or whatever delivered in 1.0 is sufficient. And then I do like to finalize the debate of the conclusion for the VOLTHA core adapter framework for technology specific. So that is something I hope we can reach to some certain degree, so we can finalize that in during the lockdown. And I do also want to determine the role of the netcomp to the VOLTHA framework and update the framework architecture diagram accordingly. So these are I think this is a very big item, and also depends on how we can establish before the April lockdown. So otherwise, I think based on the experience what we have in the lockdown in January, this can take the whole 2 days or maybe a week to finalize.
I agree.
And the containerized adapter is one of also the big issue for the VOLTHA 2.0. I since then I've heard some pros and cons regarding to the containerization of the adapter. So I do want to revisit that why do we want to containerize it, and what is the sacrifice or something like that we need to do in order to support containerization. I think there will be a lot of once we containerize it, I think there will be a security maybe another issue, and then also there are other transaction will happen if I'm correct. So I do want to revisit this. I know they provide the flexibility for the adaptive development versus the core, right? So, but at the same time, do we really need that flexible? But we sacrifice some other benefit of keep everything in the core. So I do want to, if we can have this kind of discussion in the VOLTHA discuss now, that would be great too. So So basically, the second day's items, I do want to be able to talk either through the TST. We don't have that many TST right now, but we can utilize the VOLTHA discuss to address this issue. That would be great. And in addition, the test adapter and the default OOT adapters, those are the same issues. I lumped it together. And traffic management, right now, as I said, we have two AT&T and DT use cases on FTTP and also HTTP use cases. I'll try to solicit the additional use cases from other service provider before the lockdown. Based on traffic management was part of the proposal within the external framework. The framework supported by the templates. But I think I still want to list this one as one of the separate items. If that's part of the template can address that in detail, that's great. But if not, then we need to also address that. One thing I think I asked the question regarding last week regarding to the traffic management, right? So, you know, the bandwidth, change the bandwidth requirement on the fly. I think some of the service provider will take it. Will probably not easy way to track what actually apply on the servers versus what is on the record. So we do need to address that. So that's day 2, and then the day 3 is GDAFast. I think that's 12. I think one of the maybe we gave a very misleading information. So some of the service provider thought it would include AT&T in 2.0 will deliver a workable GDAFast solution. Right now, based on what the progress we've done so far for the 1.3 and then VOLTHA 2.0, and with the big framework change, I think deliver a workable or production level grade of the GDAFast with the VOLTHA support. I think that can be challenging by the end of this year. So, but I do want to have a very solid and framework proposal for the GDAFast. So I'm going to start sending this out, and then I'm soliciting proposal from the community for the GDAFast. At least if we can get the framework established, and the implementation portion can be later on. But I do want to, just like we do on Open OMCI, I do want to have the 2.0 to have the GDAFast framework established. So, so these are the areas I think most of you have received, at least the technical lead have received this proposal. So if there's anything you want a service provider to provide before the meeting to help you with the proposal, let me know, or let other service provider know. For example, like GDAFast, potentially I think the proposal also determine on how the service provider would like to deploy this GDAFast. So the question like that, I'm depending on technical lead to start thinking about what question you want to ask the service provider to provide in order to help the community to come up with a solution. Any question? Okay, and also the proposal, I think one of the items proposal for the 3Q18. Right now, I do have a tentative proposal is Berlin, Germany. So we potentially maybe instead of 2 days event, we're going to make it 3 days. But I do welcome other proposals, so we can bring the proposal up during the lockdown of the April 20th, April 12th. So the location and the site is here, and then there is I also include the hotel information. So that's what we have about the VOLTHA 2.0 lockdown. Any question?
Sean, did you say you already set this out?
I did. Kim, if you don't have it, maybe Sean has it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only,
all right.
I only send it to maybe 1 or 2 person per company.
All right. Okay. Okay. Good.
Okay. And just a warning. There may be some activity. So on the April 9th, that's the FSAN workshop the working workshop. So there will be some presentation. I think Björn on the call right now, he will be presenting on behalf of the DT, and then Tom Anschutz will be on behalf of the AT&T. Guru will be on the call on site. So an entity plus other service provider may provide some talk. If you are a FSAN member, I would suggest you to attend on the April 9th. And just a little warning there. There may be something on the April 10th, 10 o'clock time frame, or maybe 10 or 10:30. There will be some discussion meeting, maybe addressing between BAA and VOLTHA. So I hope, and we're still working on the details. I think the broadband forum chair will be on site also because of the FSAN, and so potentially there will be a session between the BBF chair and then the VOLTHA community on the April 10th. 10 o'clock time frame, after 10 o'clock. So that session, I think right now it's in planning right now. So, but it could, but it has not been confirmed yet. So, just you know. Julie, any comment you have regarding to this?
No, and I think what you'd commented about if people have questions that they need answers, for example, from service providers in order to help develop the proposals for the April meeting, that was one thing I'd wanted to discuss also, because that applies to that first topic you have up on the screen now as well, for the externalization of technology-specific device models. So if we need some direction from the service providers, or if we need some discussion among the community on specific topics in order for us to get that consensus on the framework in April, please send that to me or use VOLTHA Discuss to bring those up, and so that we can start trying to make progress on getting those answers quickly, so that people can incorporate the feedback into the proposals for April.
And Ken, are you still on? Ken, from Sienna.
Oh yes. Yes, I thought you said Ken.
Ken, I'm not Southerner. I didn't. Okay, I was in Indiana one time. I can never tell people to say it's a pen or it's a pen. So, P-E-N and P-I-N. It's always missed. I could never tell.
That's all right.
I'm wondering whether containerization pros and cons. Is that something maybe Sergio and you can come up before the meeting?
I'll talk to Sergio about it. Yes, I think we could. It's the other thing that we could come up with, because we've been talking about VOLTHA 2.0 architecture and how we want the core to be.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can, it's something that we can come up with and present something on that.
Okay. So
Go ahead, Sean.
go ahead, Julie.
So Ken, I was going to ask if you wanted to target that for one of the remaining TST calls prior to.
I think that would be good. I would just need to confirm with Sergio because there's some component with him and some component with me. I just want to be, and those two needs to be together. So I just need to confirm with Sergio first.
Okay. So I know next Thursday we have Open Home CI demo. So we may have, Sean, we may have time for some discussion for about half of that meeting, I'm guessing. And then the 29th would be another candidate. So Ken, if you can maybe talk to Sergio, get back to me on what you think a target date might be, that would be great.
Okay, sure.
Right, and then maybe I'll twist Julie's arm also, and maybe make one of the Thursday calls. If we include the demo, then we can at least have a tentative 90 minutes meeting instead of 60 minutes.
Yes.
Right.
I had talked with you about that as well. Yeah.
I'll twist your arm for that.
Yeah. And
okay.
Actually, I was going to say, why don't I just check with folks on the call right now? I had thought that might work if we extended it by 30 minutes because we used to have our meeting an hour later. So I was hoping that would work on most schedules. So if we started at the same time as we did today and extended the meeting by 30 minutes on the end time, would that work for most folks that are on today at least?
Yeah, fine for me.
Okay. So Sean, I do think that's an option, especially because we have limited meetings remaining before the April lockdown.
Right. Julie, the other thing I was, because I know Sean and Alicia was be here, so that's why I brought up the also the future items, Manuel posted, and so there are additional items we also want to address. But you mentioned we can go through those during the VOLTHA Discuss call, right? The emails.
The email, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think the one thing is, how to. I think that one of the item also addressed on Sergio's slide back in January is about the stickiness or stateful and the stateless of the connections between the northbound and the VOLTHA core and VOLTHA northbound and VOLTHA southbound. I think that's something we also would like to determine whether that's something we need to address. And as you can see, I'm displaying the Manuel's email, so some of the issue also tie around that about the stateful versus stateless connection between the northbound and the southbound. So that's also other things we would like to address.
Yeah, and this will be something that, sorry, Sean, in our presentation, that could be something that we can address too, because it will be more tied to how the vCore will go in 2.0 will go stateless.
Okay, great. I think the Envoy D seems like one of the has been used for the load balancing in great deal here. Okay, Julie, I think that's all I have so far.
Yeah, I think so. So I think probably, I can just take it to roundtable now, see if there are other questions from anyone. Otherwise, we'll maybe give you a handful of minutes back today. So any concerns or questions from the group at this moment? Okay, I'm not hearing anything. So thank you for everyone who hung in there through the multiple restart for the conference today. Yes.
Julie, also sorry. I probably do want people to provide RSVP now.
Okay.
Maybe I'll send an email out. The room can, the room can hold.
Has to confirm.
Yeah, the room, I reserved 2 rooms, and each room can hold 20 people. So if you can give me RSVP and who's from your company or will be attending, please let me know. And if you need the hotel information again, let us know also. Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Any other last comments before we drop for today?
Nothing here. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, and we will talk to you soon. And we'll get some notes sent out over to VOLTHA Discuss. And then, Sean, I can work with you on sending out an email to get RSVPs as well.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I will go ahead and stop the recording and close the bridge.